Good morning, everybody. I thought I'd do another Pioneer Limited contest for you guys this morning. Still working on this train. Um, Hopefully, I'll have it mostly done by the Mad City Model Railroad show here coming up in a couple weeks in Madison. But anyways, found another contest in my book that I think I can come pretty close to matching. So here's our contest we're looking at. This is going to be representing the train, the southbound it says in here, but Milwaukee didn't use south and north, they used east and west. So this would be eastbound between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Milwaukee slash Chicago on December 22nd, and then overnight to the 23rd of December in 1959. So this is a rather large train. It's a 20-car train. So I can do a reasonable representation of this with the equipment that I've been building. The cars that I'm using will have different numbers, but it's the correct type of cars, and some of the sleepers will have different names on them, but again, it's the correct sleeper in the same class, same room setup that it lists here, with the one exception which I'll talk about when we get to that point. So that's the prototype contest, and this is the consist I'm going to use. So we're going to take the camera and set it up, and we'll do a roll by of each piece of equipment here and just talk a little bit about each one and how I built it or modified it, or if it's stock. And then we'll do a run of the whole train from LaCrosse to Portage on my layout. So be back with you in a moment. Okay, so we got the camera on the layout here. This is actually a new Lisbon, because I think the lighting is the best so you can see the details on the equipment. So we'll start. We'll do each piece of the train here, and then, like I said, we'll do some roll-bys. Hopefully, if I can get it focused. There we go. All right, so this is an E9A, number 39A. This is a Kato unit that I re-decaled and weathered. There's a Microtrains 905 on the front. There's an error with this unit. I used the factory Kato number 39A. Milwaukee didn't have an E9A unit numbered 39A, so I don't know where they got that information, but I didn't find that out until after I had done all this work on it. So it's going to stay 39A even though it's not correct. So anyways, there's gold medal models, windshield wipers on it, and some other detail parts, and I added the extra decals underneath of the Milwaukee roads for like the fuel fill and the water fill and stuff like that. So and it's weathered. So next we have an E9B, number 33B. This is a stock Kato unit paint job, but I stripped the lettering off of it because they didn't use the red that wasn't outlined when it came from the factory, so I used microscale decals to correct that. And again, I added the extra decals and renumbered it. It's 33B, and it's weathered. The motive power all has Unimate couplers in between the units for better close coupling. The final piece of motive power on the train is an FP7. This is from the latest release from Kato for the Olympian Hiawatha. Get it come ahead just a little bit. 96C. The anti-glare green on the top of the nose, I extended to the windows as it should have been. I weathered it. It's got a Microtrains coupler in the pilot. Let's see, it's got gold medal models windshield wipers. So, and all three of these units have Digitrax DCC chips in them. So the first piece of actual rolling stock. Just went past it. That's okay. This is storage mail car 1324, and it was on the train between LaCrosse and Chicago. This is a skytop model, Bill Denton casting that I painted and decaled and added gold medal model detail parts. It's got American Limited trucks with Kato low profile wheels. Next we have storage mail car number 1921. This was on the train between St. Paul and Chicago. This started out life as a Microtrains 70-foot express baggage car that I cut the doors out and added these blanked out doors. They're pieces of styrene. The roof is the biggest thing on this. It's a sleeper roof. They took sleepers and they repurposed them into baggage express storage cars, but they left the roofs alone, even though they took all the windows out of it. So it still looks like it's got air conditioning ducts and stuff on the roof. It's kind of a neat, unique looking car. And then I added Pennsylvania Railroad Microtrains heavy duty 6-wheeled passenger trucks with roller bearing journal boxes. And it's got gold medal model detail parts on it. The next storage mail car is number 2050. This is a Railsmith model stock. I haven't done anything to it. He released these, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. Next car is 1210. This is the RPO on the train. Railway Post Office front half, and then it's got Baggage Express in the rear half. This is a 3D printed shell that I purchased off of eBay and painted and everything, and it has, the mail hook is from a Kato smooth side 6-car set. Decals on all these cars are from Circus City decals. Again, gold medal model detail parts. This one has Kato wheel sets on it with Kato low profile wheels. Next we have 1714. This is another storage mail car. This was on the train between Minneapolis and Chicago. The RPO ran from St. Paul to Chicago. A lot of these cars started out, the train started out in Minneapolis and then added quite a few cars in St. Paul at the Union Depot. And then it actually did pick up a car, a sleeper in LaCrosse, which we'll get to here in a little bit. This car, it's pretty stock from Microtrains. It's their 70-foot baggage car. I painted it and decaled it, and it's pretty stock. The doors are stock. I did add grab irons and such to make it a little more detailed. Next car is the Baggage Express cars. So those were all, everything up until now has been, these cars would all remain sealed on the trip. They were all full of mail. This one has passenger baggage on it. This is 1338 Baggage Express car from Minneapolis to Chicago. This is another Skytop Models resin cast shell. The next car is a stand-in. This was the dormitory short coach for the train, so short haul as in passengers that would get on the train en route and then get off the train en route if they weren't going straight through. So, and it also held the dormitory for the crew. So this is a Fox Valley bunk car that I thought would be a good stand-in for this. Nobody makes the window arrangement for the actual dormitory car that was on this train. So other than, I painted the truck silver to modernize it a little bit. It came with gray trucks. Other than that, it's pretty much stock. Then the train had 4 leg rest coaches on it. This is car number 527. This is one of the, it was repainted and redecaled, but it's from the new Olympian Hiawatha set. This one was between Minneapolis and Chicago. Actually, all 4 coaches were on the train between Minneapolis and Chicago. So this one has the correct red stripe up above the letterboard. If you'll notice, the next 2 are stock from the Olympian Hiawatha set. This is 520. They're missing the red stripe. Now, according to some research I've done, there was a few cars that Milwaukee had that didn't have the red stripe. I just think it looks kind of funny, but apparently Kato, that's the prototype information they went off of on these coaches, and they didn't put that red stripe up there. But I may go back and do that with some decals. So this is the first coach I talked about, and this one, and then the following one, they're all 48-seat leg rest coaches. So again, we'll just let this keep going here. This is car number 529, another 48-seat leg rest coach, stock from the Kato Olympian Hiawatha set. This car is another cast resin shell from Skytop Models. This one's a 52-seat leg rest coach, car number 493. He released these quite a few years ago. Skytop Models, he doesn't release things, produce anymore, but the stuff he did was excellent. And I have quite a few of his cars because he's in a model railroad group with me. So the next car is the food service for the train. This is Twin Grove. It will be lettered number 185. You'll notice it doesn't have the car name on it or the numbers. I'm waiting on those decals. This was a set of brass car sides. This is a diner lounge. This was on the train between Minneapolis and Chicago. So I added the weld seams above and below the windows. It's got American Limited detail parts, gold medal model detail parts. It's got American Limited trucks with Kato low profile wheels. This will have grab irons on it too, but I'm waiting to do that until I finish the rest of the decals. So this is a unique car to the train. Milwaukee only had 2 of these specifically for the Pioneer Limited. It was diner lounge service, since they didn't need a full diner on the train because, again, it's an overnight train. So a lot of the passengers, they never even partook in the food service because they were sleeping. Next car is a Union Pacific car. This is Pacific Ocean. This is a 10-6 Bud sleeper. It's the only Bud sleeping car on the train. This was on the train from Minneapolis to Chicago. This is a stock Kato car with the exception that I repainted the trucks. This is car number 32, Zumbro River. It's an 864 duplex sleeper on the train from Minneapolis to Chicago. This is a Railsmith model. This is stock. I haven't done anything to it. Milwaukee Road had 2 different variants of their River Series sleepers. This and one other car, which is also on the train, were bought later, and you'll notice they don't have the Milwaukee style round windows in the vestibule or on the ends of the car. That is correct for both of these cars. They didn't have it. They were bought later. And if you'll notice, when we get to the other River Series car, the duplex section is on the far end of this car. Most of the Milwaukee River Series duplex sleepers, 864 sleepers, had the duplex section in the middle. So they looked different even though they were both 864 sleepers. The floor plan inside was slightly different. Okay, this car is the only real stand-in in the car, even though in the train. This should be 16.4 duplex sleeper, one of the 4. It should be the Wisconsin Dells, the Rodney, the Raymond, or the New Lisbon. I'm probably going to make it number 29, the Wisconsin Dells. But I ran out of core kits, so I have the sides, but this car is not built yet, so I have number 9 here, Lake Nashtoa. It's a 10-6 sleeper between Minneapolis and Chicago. This is standing in. This is from the Olympian Hiawatha set that just came out from Kato. It's a stock car. So this will be replaced eventually with the correct floor plan sleeper. It'll be a 16.4 duplex sleeper. So I mentioned that there were 2 types of River Series sleepers here in the 864 configuration. Here's the one that were more numerous. On the Milwaukee Road, you'll notice that it has the round windows and the oval windows on it that kind of match the rest of their equipment. This is number 22, Gallatin River. It's an 864 duplex sleeper that ran between Minneapolis and Chicago. This is a Union Station product, styrene sides mounted on an American Limited core kit with American Limited trucks and underbody details. It's got gold medal model grab irons on it and Circus City decals. The next car is another Union Pacific car. This one's a little different. Again, the reason this train was so long, it's right before the Christmas, so there were lots of passengers out on traveling. Again, it's December 22nd and 23rd, 1959. It's a 20-car train. Normally, the train wasn't this long, but they were overflowing, and the mail cars were just packed to the brim, apparently. So, and it was kind of neat. I would have liked to have seen this in real life. This is a 12-4 sleeper. Union Pacific Western Trail. This was on the train they picked this up at Union Depot in St. Paul, and then it traveled all the way to Chicago. That's a Railsmith car, by the way. It's stock. I didn't do anything to it. This is a 16-4 duplex sleeper named the Raymond. It's car number 27. This was on the train, but again, they picked it up in St. Paul at Union Depot, and it went all the way to Chicago. This car, the interior configuration is right, but the windows aren't quite right. This is a Des Plaines Hobbies kit. This was originally a Chicago Northwestern Northern Series sleeper. Again, the interior layout was the same as the Milwaukee. The outside windows looked a little different. They would have had rounded windows and such. I have the correct car sides for this, and again, I'm out of core kits. I built this car before I got the correct car sides from Union Station products. So, again, this is a Des Plaines Hobbies kit. It's standing in for right now, but it looks quite nice, other than the windows are incorrect in some of them. Again, it should have round windows and oval windows on a couple of them, but other than that, it's pretty close. So we're going to use it for a while until I get the other one built. Here's our last River Series sleeper. Again, this was from the second set, so you'll notice that the duplex portion is on the far end of the car. This is a Railsmith car, Minnesota River, car number 31. It's an 864 duplex sleeper. It was on the train from Minneapolis, actually, and they dropped it off in Milwaukee. So on the way east, they'd drop it in Milwaukee, and on the way west, they'd pick it up in Milwaukee. That's a Railsmith car, I said, yeah, which I haven't done anything to it. So the last car on the train is this one. We had a Lake Series sleeper earlier in the train that was a stand-in. This one is correct. This should be on the train. This is a 10-6 sleeper. Lake, my French is terrible. Coeur d'Alene. This was on the train. They picked it up in LaCrosse. It actually originated in Austin, Minnesota, went east on another train, and the Milwaukee picked it up to go the rest of the way to Chicago in LaCrosse. So this is a Kato car, again, from the Olympian Hiawatha set. Now, since I bought an extra one of these, so I have the Olympian Hiawatha set, but I bought a second sleeper like this off of eBay because with the intention of that this is always going to be on this train. So since it is, I made it a little. I mean, they didn't have an observation car on this train, so if you'll notice, I put Detail Associates. I drilled holes in the marker brackets on the sides of the car and mounted those. They're not lit, but they're painted. There's a Rapido Trains end gate in there, a scissors gate, so that people don't walk out the end of the vestibule. And then, again, since I wasn't going to be coupling anything to the end of this, I replaced the rear truck with another Nystrom Kato truck, but one of the observation car trucks that doesn't have a coupler on it. And then I body mounted a Microtrains True Scale short shank coupler under there and painted it rust. And then it's got the air hose dropping down there too. So at least one of the things, when you're running this on the modular layout, then at least you'll know where the end of the train is, so that somebody doesn't think you lost part of your train. So anyways, that's the 20 car train. So it's, like I said, it's pretty neat to watch run, and that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to pull it around to LaCrosse. Again, it's going eastbound. On my layout, it's going to go from LaCrosse to Portage, both of which are the staging yards. It will go through Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, Camp Douglas, Wisconsin, where it crosses over Diamonds with the Chicago Northwestern. It will make a station stop in New Lisbon, Wisconsin, and then it will also, after New Lisbon, it rolls through Mauston, Wisconsin, before the crew change point at Portage. So with that, we'll get this turned around and we'll do some run-bys. Here the train's rolling through Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. If you look in the back there behind that flat car with the anti-aircraft guns on it, there is another track. That's the Chicago Northwestern main line. Both Chicago Northwestern and Milwaukee Road interchanged with the Army base at this small community. Had quite a bit of traffic going in and out of the Army base. There was quite a lot of track work in there at one time. Here the train's starting to slow down for its upcoming station stop at New Lisbon, Wisconsin. And the train stops in New Lisbon for a few minutes before departing, continuing its way east to Milwaukee and Chicago. And the last town we're going to go through today, this is Mawson, Wisconsin. Next stop will be Portage for a crew change, and that's the staging yard. So I hope you enjoyed this little overview of the Eastbound train number 4, the Pioneer Limited, in late December of 1959.